What's up everyone, Jimmy here from Base Game Reviews, and today we're checking out Team Ninja's latest Souls-like that takes inspiration from the open world of Elden Ring and aesthetic of Ghost of Tsushima. Has Team Ninja finally reached their magnum opus? Or is this just more of the same tired Souls-like formula that just makes you wish you were playing an actual From Software game? Here's our full review of Rise of the Ronin on PC. Let's get into it. How I played. I was gifted a copy of Rise of the Ronin via Steam on PC. I played on my R7 7800 X3D RTX 3080 gaming PC, and I played at 1440p on maximum settings. Story, 13 out of 20. I want to start by stating this. I've never been a huge fan of Team Ninja games like the Neo series or Wolong. As a self-proclaimed Soul snob, I should love every Souls-like out there, but I don't. When I saw the previews for Rise of the Ronin in 2024, I'll admit I was initially intrigued, but I quickly remembered my past experiences with Team Ninja games and my intrigue turned to caution. Then Rise of the Ronin dropped on PS5 and my caution was spot on. The game launched to unremarkable reviews and faded fast from the gaming radar. So what went wrong? Was it Team Ninja's dated visuals? Or was it just too similar to their past titles in all the wrong ways? Let's dive in and see if the PC release of Rise of the Ronin changes anything. The game starts you off with a cinematic telling you the basic world lore. It also introduces you to one of the main cities you'll be seeing in your playthrough. You also get introduced to the player characters who are called the Blade Twins. And you're introduced to the clan you become a part of called the Veiled Edge. You then go to the character creator where you can customize your two characters, and then the game has a basic intro to get used to the controls and basic combat. Cutscenes. Team Ninja's cutscenes have improved a bit, but it's barely noticeable. The dialogue and character animations still feel cringe, like a low-budget dubbed anime flick. All the cutscenes are the basic side-to-side pans and back and forth yap fests. Nothing stellar here, but nothing outright awful either. World building. Rise of the Ronin is based on real history, like other Team Ninja games, Neo and Wolong, but it felt like I was stuck in a grade 10 history class, slogging through a textbook instead of living the events. I don't know how lore accurate it is, but a lot of it could have used a trim. You get world building and lore through dialogue, cutscenes, and some scattered notes that flesh it out a little bit more. Overall story. Like I said, the story falls flat. I know it's trying to stick to historical events, but I was bored most of the time. I didn't connect with any of the characters, so the big moments just didn't land for me. Graphics, 7 out of 15. Character models. These character models look rough. They're weak for PS5 standards and even look bad for PS4. I'd peg this game's visuals on par with high-end PS3 or low-tier PS4 titles. Team Ninja's NPCs have had this same low-fidelity look for 3+ games now. It's time for an overhaul. Environments. Most modern games have at least one setting with killer visuals, and Rise of the Ronin has its moments. But the majority of the game looks bland. The earthy color palette, mostly browns, gives everything a dry, muddy vibe, and it gets stale after a while. Special effects. The special effects are dated and bare bones. Everything in this game just screams old. Weapon effects and buffs look cheap, like placeholders for an indie game. Team Ninja isn't indie, and they partnered with Sony here. You'd expect way sharper visuals in this. Also, it's hilarious how NPCs basically repeat endlessly. The game doesn't even try to hide it. You'll literally run past the same copy and paste NPC one after another. Audio, 9 out of 15. Ambience. The ambience in Rise of the Ronin is surprisingly stripped down. I'm let down, especially since Team Ninja partnered with Sony on this. I see little to no improvement over past titles. Boss music. It's generic, barely better than faster paced background beats. I couldn't tell if each boss had unique music or if it was just the same track on loop. That's how forgettable it was. It does the job, but isn't memorable. I love intense boss tracks, so it's a bummer they skimped here. Sound design. Team Ninja is notorious for weak English voice acting, and Rise of the Ronin is slightly better than their past games, but not by much. The female protagonist's English accent borders on offensive. It sounds like someone mimicking a Japanese English accent. I'm not even joking. It's brutal. Performance, 7 out of 10. Frame rate. The game runs decently on PC, but with visuals this dated, I should be hitting 300 FPS on semi-modern hardware. Consoles should have a 120 FPS mode, yet it caps at 60 FPS and doesn't even hold that consistently. Team Ninja games always struggle with graphics, and that's fine if the gameplay is hype, but it's not. So there's no excuse for how this game performs. Stability. Aside from a few cosmetic glitches, I didn't hit any game-breaking bugs, but this is the PC version. From what I recall, the console version launched with some pretty hilarious issues. Gameplay, 24 out of 40. Controls. If you've played other Team Ninja games like Wo Long or Nioh, this feels familiar. Movement can feel a bit clumsy, but overall, it's solid enough. Mechanics. Rise of the Ronin packs a ton of mechanics. I was impressed with how approachable Team Ninja made the gameplay. Their games are known for hardcore stamina management and recovery, and that's still here, but it's refined and more forgiving for newcomers. I also like the mobility options, like the glider, the horse, the grappling hook. They gave you more ways to tackle different situations. I'm not a fan of their loot system for weapons and armor, but it's better here. Still, the weapon upgrade system felt pointless. I'd always find a better weapon right after upgrading. Pacing. The pacing in Rise of the Ronin is awful. Just like in Wo Long and Nioh, Team Ninja tries to stay historically accurate, but the problem's when the story moments feel meaningless to me as a player. There were so many times I thought, wait, I'm fighting these guys now? Weren't they my allies? It felt like a slog. Maybe I didn't fully grasp the story, but I never felt invested, so missions got tedious really fast. UI UE. The user experience is actually pretty solid. A nice change from other Team Ninja games. Their menus and systems are usually an eyesore and overcomplicated, but Rise of the Ronins are way easier to navigate. Boss quality. When your game's grounded in a realistic historical story, boss battles can suffer. They all felt samey. Either a normal-sized NPC boss with fast combos, or a big, hulking boss hoss with telegraphed, devastating attacks. I can't name a single memorable boss fight from my entire playthrough. Enemy variety. Just like the endlessly repeating NPCs in towns, enemies are the same 3 or 4 types the whole game. Some get reskins based on the faction you're fighting. Gameplay variety. You can clear out bandits from town to town, kind of like Ghost of Tsushima. There's also the main story missions, and there's also a mechanic where you look for hidden cats and villages to collect. Great. That's what we needed in a Souls-like, right? Finding different kinds of cats. Replayability. This is a one and done for me. I have zero desire to replay those missions ever again. Switching weapon types doesn't shake up the gameplay enough unless you're into self-imposed challenges. Bonus, 0 out of 3. Being a title that was partnered with Sony on, I am completely surprised that there are basically no accessibility options in Rise of the Ronin. Wow. Overall, 60 out of 100. Fair. Rise of the Ronin does improve on Team Ninja's formula, but not by enough. I didn't find myself as fatigued or frustrated like I would in their previous titles, but many of the previous issues are even more glaring now. The dated graphics and poor pacing, with questionable storytelling, Rise of the Ronin came and went, and I don't think anyone will be singing its praises 10 years from now, or even in 6 months. If someone gives you a copy for free, maybe put down the controller and go touch grass until something better comes out.